What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. If it's geeky, if it's nerdy, I love to talk about it right here. And right now, let's talk a little bit about the Suicide Squad. Yep. The James Gunn movie, The Suicide Squad, which isn't due out for, about a year. But it's already getting a lot of hype thanks to DC Fandom. And one thing that we did learn at DC Fandom was that Idris Elba has been cast as Bloodsport. Bloodsport. Not Bloodshot. He's not playing a Vin Diesel character. Bloodsport. Now, it took me out of left field. I did not think he was going to play Bloodsport. I mean, it never even crossed my mind that he would play Bloodsport. Bloodsport's such a minor character in the DC universe that it never really crossed my mind. I expected him to play either Bronze Tiger or Vigilante. And honestly, I kind of thought it was going to be Vigilante. Just because Vigilante had recently appeared in the CW, people know the character now a little bit, somewhat, and I kind of expected it to be that character. But Bloodsport really took me out of left field. Really surprised me. So, let's talk about who Bloodsport is. And to talk about who Bloodsport is, we're going to have to go all the way back to 1987. 1987. Superman number 4. This book right here. 1987, Superman number 4. That's Bloodsport. Real name is Robert Dubois. And in this book, he is a, it's been a long time since I've read it. I believe he is a Vietnam vet. And he's basically a domestic terrorist. Is basically more, I mean, look how, that's some dark stuff for a Superman book, right? But basically, Bloodsport, he is able to teleport weapons. He's able to teleport weapons, and much like Weapons Master is able to. And in this book, in his first appearance, he actually shoots Superman with a kryptonite bullet, as you can see right there. Now, what's interesting about this is that rumor has it that he's in jail in the Suicide Squad in Bel Rev because he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Will we see a Henry Cavill flashback in the Suicide Squad that has Bloodsport shooting Henry Cavill? I hope so. I hope so. That would be cool. So yeah, we've got a lot of Bloodsport on Superman violence in this book. Those remind me of the Toastmasters that John Henry Irons had to take out, in the early 90s. But Bloodsport ends up getting beat when Superman just basically whacks him with his hand. Just basically gives him a little whack. And Bloodsport ends up getting beat. And then we learned that Bloodsport was doing what he was doing to seek vengeance on, I forget if it was his friend or his brother, but who became, he lost his arms and he lost his legs in the war. So at that point, Bloodsport became a little more of a sympathetic villain. Still a villain. Dude still went to jail. He killed a lot of people in this book, but we understood his motivation, even though the motivation was evil. He went about it all the wrong way. He became more of an interesting character at that point, at the end. So that's Bloodsport, Robert Dubois, April of 1987. He plays for keeps. Now, It's in 1993 that he takes a different turn. Yes, Bloodsport takes a different turn. A different character becomes Bloodsport, and it's this dude. This dude becomes Bloodsport. What is his name? Alex Trent. Alex Trent becomes Bloodsport. And this is part of the Spilled Blood storyline. I believe he had he might have had one appearance prior to this book as Bloodsport. I would have to go back and look at my collection. But I like this cover. And he is a racist. He is. He is incredibly racist. He is a white power. He's a white power villain, and he is trying to cleanse humanity by getting rid of African Americans. So I don't even know that this character would fly today. I mean, he's portrayed as a villain, which he is, but I don't even know that the character would fly today. I don't know that they would even want to publish a character in a comic book that is trying to cleanse the world of black people. I don't know that in today's climate that would leave a good taste in anybody's mouth, even if it was a villainous character. Like Robert Dubois, he teleports his weapons. And he's very, very vicious in his killings. And in this book, in Spilled Blood Part 1, Bloodsport actually sets his eyes on one of Superman's buddies, Ron Traup, a reporter at the Daily Planet. That guy. And he becomes obsessed with getting him. And even when fighting Superman has caused him all sorts of structural damage to his body, he still becomes obsessed with taking out the Man of Steel. And actually, Ron Traup is the one he's obsessed with. In the process, he's trying to take out the Man of Steel. And then you've got High Tech jumps in. That's High Tech right there. She jumps in. She's also hired by Bloodthirst. That's Bloodthirst right there. Kind of a corny, stupid-looking villain. And then Bloodsport, Alex Trent, he ends up turning on High Tech, his hired partner, and he ends up killing himself to try to take out Ron Traup. So I bring this up because I think that, and then like I said, in part 3 of Spilled Blood, you've got Bloodthirst. I bring this up because it's an interesting decision. Now, as you can see, the first Bloodsport is African American. This Bloodsport clearly is not. He's a white supremacist and a character that I don't think would hit the publishing racks today. And I bring him up because he appears in Superman comics a lot more than this one. I believe this guy had one other appearance, and he was fighting this guy. If I remember right, like I said, I'd have to dig through my collection and see if I could find those books. I've got them they're in this room somewhere. But this guy makes one more appearance fighting this guy. Meanwhile, this guy makes several more appearances. So I think it's an interesting take to bring in a character that is tied to that's tied to this kind of evil. And my guess is that they're going to completely ignore it, but my wondering is when people hear that Idris Elba is playing Bloodsport, is this the guy that they're going to go to? Now, obviously, in that case, he would not be playing a white supremacist, but people remember. I'm just wondering if people remember Bloodsport as this guy, as Alex Trent, the white supremacist who was involved in some very for Superman books, violent Superman books. So that being said, this guy is not an interesting character. Bloodsport Alex Trent was never a character that I was like, oh good, it's another Bloodsport story. This character never interested me. He was never a very layered character. He was just this hate. He was walking hatred, is what he was, and that's good as like a boogeyman, as like a Jason Voorhees type character for Superman to take out. But there wasn't any layers to the character. He was just hate, and that's why I'm excited about the fact that we're going to explore this guy more in movie form, because I like this character a lot. Very layered, has a lot going on, and still very capable, but also very violent. And my guess is, with it being Idris Elba, Bloodsport is going to lead the team, much in the way that Deadshot did. Well, he didn't strike me as a leader in this book, so I'll be interested to see what kind of backstory they give to him that adds to this. But guys, I think it's a bold decision to make Bloodsport part of the Suicide Squad. They were really, somebody knows their comic books, because I would guess that most people don't know who Bloodsport is. And I'm really excited to see a character like this, that I really enjoyed reading as I was growing up, portrayed on the big screen, and in a way that hopefully he will become a more fleshed out character that people will really start to enjoy. And hopefully we'll see him pop up in the comics some more. And he probably will, since he's going to make it to the big screen. And like I said, I could care less to see this guy pop up anymore, because I never found him to be all that interesting. This wasn't even a good storyline. Spilled Blood, that was a really bad guy. A stupid bad guy. So, yeah, Bloodsport, this is a cool idea. I am in full support of bringing in characters like this into DC movies, because they're complex characters and they should make for some good narratives. So overall, what did you guys think of the decision to make Idris Elba play Bloodsport? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think it's a bold decision, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. Did you know Bloodsport before Idris Elba was cast in? Had you ever heard of Bloodsport? Had you ever read any of the comics that he appears in, be it Robert Dubois or Alex Trent? Let me know. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, I thank you for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.